Welcome or welcome back to the #1 real estate transaction coordinator show on these internets, Transaction Care. I am your host, Lillian Hernandez, your resident transaction coordinator, your resident industry friend, and I am back with another episode. Before we get into it, have you subscribed? Have you shared any of my other videos with your friends, your colleagues, coworkers? I'd love to build community with you all, and I truly appreciate your time. In this episode, in this series of episodes, I want to focus on mental health, self-care, and things of that nature, because so often our own personal mental health gets overlooked, and we tend to just put ourselves to the side to either get through the workday, help others, keep our house, organized, running errands, things. There's just so much that can happen throughout the day that we don't take time to actually check in with ourselves. So I want to create a series of episodes that focus on ways to build ourselves up mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, whatever the case may be. I think it's important to create a dialogue and to have a safe space like this here channel, Transaction Care, for us to feel like we're not alone. You know what I mean? Especially if you work from home, you run your own business. Being an entrepreneur is very lonely at times, and it's nice to just know that I'm not alone in this system, in this process, in this world, and that there are people out there going through the same things that I'm going through. So I just want to share a few tips with you guys that help me to stay organized as well as manage my self-care and mental health. These are some tips that I've used in my life to keep me productive, keep me sane, keep me balanced and grounded, and just really prioritizing myself and my mental health so I can, tackle my insane inbox and the hundreds of emails that come through each and every day. As a transaction coordinator, our jobs are very high demand. Our time is very high demand, and our attention to detail is very high demand. So if we are not nurturing our mind, how can we service others and get the job done? So basically, we need help, and it's important to acknowledge that we need help and to do things that will alleviate some of that stress and pressure. So let's get into it. So one of the habits that I really needed to get in check was my sleep. I'm a night owl, I admit it. I love staying up late. I feel like some of my best ideas and creative thoughts have come in the middle of the night. But as someone that is reliant and dependent upon throughout the 9 to 5 hours, that was not the most effective sleep pattern to have when you're trying to run a successful business throughout the day. Because I would sleep at all odd hours of the night, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, it just sometimes 3, and expecting myself to get up and be ready and at my desk by at least 9 a.m., knowing that I'm exhausted, I'm creatively almost burnt out by the morning because I've exhausted so much energy in the middle of the night, that I was just not being my best productive self throughout the day to accommodate my clients or to be focused and get the tasks done that I need to get done. So I know that I need at least 6 to 8 hours of solid sleep. And I am my best when I sleep earlier versus later. Even if I still got that 8 hours of sleep and I went to sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm still groggy, I'm tired, I am irritable, everything annoys me and pisses me off. So getting sleep is so important. And having an actual bedtime, I know, this is tough, especially for my night owls. Having a bedtime and sticking to that is so beneficial to your productivity the next morning. So even if you're not a transaction coordinator or you're just working from home, having discipline with your sleep is so crucial. So reevaluate your sleep habits and see what's working and what's not working, and implement that into your daily routine and your nightly routine. And I guarantee you'll see a big difference when you stick to those certain hours or those habits of sleep. So, and it's a work in progress. Every day is not perfect. I admit it. Some days I'm still up in the middle of the night creating, but I'll get into that in the later steps as to what I'm talking about. So now that we've covered sleep, the second step is your morning routine. Do you have one? Do you not have one? Do you need one? In my opinion, yes. What my morning routine consists of, and it's become a non-negotiable, it's something that if I don't do, my whole day just feels off. Or when I'm rushing through my morning routine, I feel like the rest of the day is just going to be chaotic. So as a result of my sleep, I have to factor in, okay, I need at least 30 minutes to 1 hour in the morning blocked off for me, because I'm giving the next 8 to 9 hours to so many other people. I deserve this 1 hour in the morning to set the tone for the day, to really just create a theme for myself and to celebrate myself as well. And what I mean by that is, as soon as I wake up, I pray. I'm a very spiritual person. I pray. I am showing gratitude. I am grateful for the day. I am grateful in advance. And I just sit in that, basically. I lay there, I breathe, because breathing, we don't take deep enough breaths, basically. So I pray, I'm showing gratitude. And then, of course we do the whole bathroom routines and all that, freshen up, bath, shower, whatever the case may be. But I wake up, I have my gratitude is at the front of my mind, and then I read devotionals. I'm not a very religious person per se, but I am very spiritual. Some can say they are the same, but to me, I believe in a higher being. So it's important for me to have my foundation be built on the Word of God, essentially. But like I said, non-negotiable. I start my day off with gratitude, daily devotionals, and then I have a wins journal. When I say this has been so transformational in my life, it's almost an understatement. Like, acknowledging my wins as soon as I wake up, whether it's from the night before the day before, the night before, or simply just celebrating the fact that I woke up. It just changes my whole trajectory of the day. It changes my perspective of the day. And I don't feel like there isn't anything that I can't do. You know what I mean? Because I have the time now. I was given this opportunity. Let's make the best of it, right? And then I keep a book at my bedside that I personally love reading. Self-help books, motivational books, business books, things of that nature, to really just help me to ignite that fire under me throughout the day, to just make me feel empowered. And that all just feeds into what I'm feeding myself as soon as I wake up. So it's so important to have a morning routine, and whatever that may look like for you. So as soon as I get out of bed, I'm feeling pumped for the day. I also stretch. I try to get in a workout throughout the day. Just get my blood flowing, my mind clear. My mind is calm before I get to my desk, and it's all about me. You know what I mean? It's all about me in that moment. And I can't stress enough how important having a foundational morning routine is to the day. So give it a try. You could do yoga, you could just stretch, you could just be silent and meditate for the whole hour, whatever that looks like to you. Play with it. Try different things throughout the morning and see what works for you and what doesn't. And my morning routine could change tomorrow. I could decide, you know what, I want to do all this at night, and in the mornings all I want to do is exercise and then start work. So it all depends. Nothing is set in stone. This is your life, your time. You make the best of it. That's all I can suggest. Okay, so I'm not going to get into too much detail about this aspect of self-care or staying organized, but basically I have become so dependent on my calendar that when I veer off or take detours and try to control my day without the calendar, I become a mess. Things fall apart, or I'm focusing too much attention on something that doesn't need my attention at the moment, or I find myself just daydreaming or wandering, and having a calendar is so important. And not just any calendar. I mean, calendaring is so important, and learning how to time block your day will just revolutionize your whole existence, basically. I'm not going to get into too much detail on how to time block, but basically what I do is, because I work in real estate, my primary focuses are listings and sales. So I block out my whole day. One half is listings, one half is sales. And then I switch them every other day. So it'll be listing, sales, sales, listings. That's just what works for me. And then I love the task features on Google Calendar. I am a Google Calendar addict. I admit it. I love it. I rely on it. I don't know what I would do without it. So within those blocks, I assign, okay, 1, 2, 3 main, update disclosures. 3, 2, 1 main, send disclosures. Whatever listing order, natural hazard report. So whatever that looks like to you, you just assign the different tasks so it's not so overwhelming all at once. And I find that working on one transaction at a time, I don't feel as anxious. And I know, especially for those transaction coordinators that are either starting out or super seasoned, that you want to do so much at once. But honestly, the most productive way I've found to get throughout the day was to just focus on one transaction at a time, whether that was for the next 5 minutes, the next hour, hour and a half, 20 minutes, whatever the case may be. I'm focused on the one transaction and getting as many things that I need to get done within that. So whatever tasks I have left over, that time will decrease over time versus, spending the next hour trying to do 100 things within 100 transactions. I personally don't feel like that's the most productive way of doing it, but everyone is different, and these are just my suggestions that I'm hoping can help you to have more mental health, more mental clarity, and self-love for yourself, because being anxious and stressed out all the time can just cause this ripple effect of pain throughout your entire life. And it all starts with just as simple as having an organized calendar. And you can apply this to your personal life as well, not just with your work tasks. So keep that in mind. Google Calendars, you can even have a physical calendar. Just some way to keep track of your day, in my opinion. And sidebar, if you don't know where to start, I use Microsoft To Do, where I basically just brain dump everything that I need to do throughout the day, personal and business-wise, and then I'll just assign it into my calendar. Just brain dump everything you have to do and then organize it by adding it to your calendar. So I may have went a little bit more in depth than I had planned, but I hope these tips work for you. So now that you have your calendar organized, bomb, right? You love it. You're flowing. Things are happening. Things are getting done. You're on track. Stress levels are down. Shoulders are down. All of it, right? So now you want to acknowledge you. What are your work habits? What is your capacity, right? Not just in terms of how much work you can do, but how long you can work doing those tasks, your endurance, basically. Now, what I mean by that is, for example, for me, right? If I'm working in a 9-hour day with a 1-hour lunch throughout the day, I have noticed that I am more productive within 3-hour time frames, right? So 9 to 12, I am productive. I am able to focus, but I'm not able to focus if I just work straight through. And within those 3 hours, I'm still taking breaks. I'm still doing something to distract me for a little bit, just to kind of regroup and refresh my mind. I'm taking the time to breathe, acknowledge what I've done so far, and just slowing down the process, even though things are happening, you feel like things are happening 100 miles per hour. It's important to just take the time to slow down and to regroup within that 3-hour span, for me at least. And also throughout my day, I'm constantly drinking water. I'm standing up, I'm walking around, I'm stretching. There are a lot of little things you can do to increase your productivity that don't necessarily require you to do work. So keep that in mind, because it's important that we break away from the monotony and the routine and really just focus on ourselves. So what is your capacity within a work's day? You know, do you work best within hours? Okay, first hour, I'm going to focus on these 3 things. And then I'm going to take a 10-minute break. And then the next hour, I'm going to focus on these 10 things. So also keep in mind, what days and what weeks throughout the month are you the most productive? As women that have cycles, you know, I base my month calendar on that particular cycle as well. So I know around the 3rd week of the month, I'm going to be a lot more lethargic. I'm going to be a lot more fatigued. I'm going to be a lot more crampy. You know, if you get my drift, ladies, I'm going to be sensitive, a little bit more sensitive, emotional. So maybe on that 3rd week of the month, I don't plan so much. I don't put so much on my calendar. I communicate to those in my life, hi, this week, the 15th through the 21st, bear with me. This is what's happening. I'm still going to get the job done, but just know I'm working at a slower pace this week. So it's all about communication and just acknowledging your body and your cycles, because I don't think we realize that that's a part of, you know, some of the chaos that occurs in our life throughout the week and throughout the month, the year. And if we just have a little bit more grace for ourselves throughout those periods of time, then I truly believe we will be a lot more productive. So if you know the first 2 weeks of the month you are the most productive, then focus on putting more energy into those times of the month versus that 3rd or 4th week, whatever your cycle is. So just be mindful of those things as well as you're working, because we can lose control, not know why, and don't even realize, oh, you know, it's that time of the month. I'm a little bit more irritable. Let me just slow down. So that's all I'm saying, is just to be mindful of your body and your mind combined, not just the work, you know? So show up for yourself, show yourself grace, and be kind to yourself always, because that's what will get you throughout this day. And tell yourself you're doing a great job. You know, as I mentioned, I keep a wins journal. It doesn't necessarily have to be kept in the morning. You could have the wins journal at your desk at all times, or just any kind of journal where you just write down, like, I'm proud of myself. I did a good job. I'm having a great day, or I'm having a bad day, but what can I do to fix it? Okay, maybe I need to go take a nap. If you're working from home, take a nap. Just take a nap. I am a part of the nap ministry. Look them up on social media. I am team nap all day, every day. Okay, maybe not all day. Maybe not every day. Well, you can nap every day. See, I should go take a nap now, because now I'm starting to ramble. But self-care is also just knowing when you need to stop. That's all. So the next tip is your desk space. If you haven't already, go watch my video on my desk space tour, the equipment I use. I had a lot of fun doing that video, and I hope you guys found it helpful with your journey with an at-home office, whether you're a TC or working for a completely different industry. Having a clean workspace is vital for your mental health. I personally love to make my bed as soon as I wake up, because when I'm done with my work, and my office is in my bedroom, so if I'm turning around and I see chaos, it's just going to make me angry. It's going to trigger things. I'm just not going to feel motivated, or whatever the case may be. Try to alleviate the pressure from some of the things that may trigger you throughout the day. And to me, that is keeping a clean space. So at the end of the day, I'm throwing away Post-it notes, throwing away pens that no longer have ink in them. I'm clearing any dishes that I may have brought to my office, cups, mugs, wrappers, whatever it is that is cluttering your desk. I highly, highly, highly suggest you organizing that before your day ends, because when you come into your office space the next morning and it's just nice and clean and you can just get straight into work without having to think about that chaos, all the way up, guys, all the way up. Productivity levels through the roof. Okay. And finally, I thank you if you made it this far in the video, but at the end of the day, you have your clean desk. It's nice and beautiful. You feel lighter. You feel more energized. Take some time, whether it's 15 minutes or an hour, to plan your next day. Versus you waking up and having to plan your day in the morning, I found that any task that I didn't get done that particular day, I'll move it to my calendar for the following day or maybe the day after. But it keeps me on top of what I need to do. I'm not losing track, and truly, I feel like knowing what I'm coming into as soon as I sit down just saves me so much time. So take the night before. Soon, I know we're tired. We just want to be done with it and go watch TV or watch Netflix, cook, eat dinner. But those 15 minutes of just, planning your day for the following day will save you so much angst, because you realize it's going to be this snowball effect of emotions and stress and chaos that could have been alleviated with 10 to 15 minutes the night before, maybe 1 hour. It depends on your workload. So keep that in mind as you're planning your day and your week, is that whatever you didn't get done that day, it's okay to push to the next day. So I hope you found these tips helpful, and please drop a comment on what your daily or weekly routine looks like, and if there's something that you would like to talk about, or if I missed anything, just drop it in the comments. This is a community. We are working together. This is what works for me, and if you could take anything out of this, great. I love it. More power to you. And I just want to do my best to help my community and to create a space for us transaction coordinators in the real estate industry, as well as anyone out there that can relate. So drop a comment, hit that subscribe button, and share this with anyone that you know is feeling disorganized, feeling stressed or chaotic, or just having a lot of angst throughout the day, because we need self-care. We need self-love. We need our mental health to be intact, and being organized is a part of that journey. And like I said, I'm going to do a series of videos focused on mental health and ways that we can improve that for ourselves to become better entrepreneurs, better coworkers, better colleagues, better partners, whatever the case may be. And drop a comment if you have any video suggestions or you would like to collaborate. I'm open, and this is a safe space. This is a fun space. Let's make our day fun. Let's not forget about that. Self-care is also having fun and reflecting on things that bring you joy and choosing joy each and every day. So, like I said, I hope you found this video helpful. And until the next one, your time is worth it. Let's coordinate. Lillian, out!